If I give you one message to hold in your hearts today, it's this. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward.
I love that. It's such a positive message.
I do too.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. How's everybody tonight? How are you doing, Moxie?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. I see Herbie in chat. Hey, Herbie. It's so good to see you. So, yeah, we've got a lot of current events to talk over. There has been so much going on the last couple of weeks.
So much.
And it's been a little crazy. And hey, Kraken, I see Kraken behind you. Kraken is so cute. Yeah, so let's get started. Let's talk about all the happenings. One of the first things I want to do is talk about prayers for Melania. She lost her mother. And in Trump's victory speech last night, he mentioned her and thanked her. So that was so sweet. But yeah, bless Melania. I don't know how she's gonna get along here with this whole election thing after losing her mom. So it was hard for me for months and months after I lost my mom. So
I understand that it's difficult.
It is. It's so hard. I see Deplorable Mike too. Hey, Mike. I hope you're doing well. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is infiltration. And no, I'm not going to talk about Vivek. Vivek. I think he pronounces it Vivek. No, but so we got through the Iowa caucuses last night, and it was pretty fabulous. I mean, Iowa, Trump came in huge last night in Iowa, and 51%. Ron DeSantis got 21. Nikki Haley got 19. But what's next is New Hampshire. I think they're voting next week in the primary, and all the primary activities are happening this week. So one of the things I saw last week was, I don't know if it was a town hall or something, but they were interviewing these gals who were going to vote in the New Hampshire primaries, but they said they were Democrats. And in New Hampshire, apparently, if you change your affiliation to unaffiliated instead of like a registered Democrat, you can go to the Republican primaries and you can vote in them.
Mm-hmm.
So
that happens in Iowa too. You can change your affiliation the day of the voting and go and vote.
Really? So this gal was saying, yeah, she decided to do that because they really don't want Trump to be the nominee. And she knows a whole bunch of her Democrat friends that are doing that. So, yeah. And what's interesting is tonight, Trump had a speech in New Hampshire, and he mentioned that too. So I'm going to play a couple of clips here from Trump's speech tonight. And I'd love your thoughts, everybody in chat. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I'm just going to go ahead and play Trump.
And now for sort of the opposite, in my opinion. As you know, Nikki Haley in particular is counting on the Democrats and liberals to infiltrate your Republican primary. You know that. That's what's happening. You have a group of people coming in that are not Republicans, and it's artificially boosting her numbers here, although we're still leading her.
So he's talking about the infiltration. I got another quick clip.
And radical leftists they're trying to cancel out your votes. They want to cancel out your votes. That's what they're doing with Haley. They love Haley because they're going to load it up with Democrats. They're not going to win anyway. They're not going to win anyway. They're not even close. But they're going to load it up with Democrats and independents. And that's not what the Republican Party is about. We love Democrats that want to vote for us, and we love independents especially that want to vote for us. But it's not what the party is about. But you have to go.
So, yeah, they're infiltrating. The Democrats and independents are going to the Republican primary. So I think the results compared to Iowa are going to be a little different. And if you guys know people in New Hampshire that are conservative and Trump supporter, tell them to go vote, no matter what's happening next week, no matter what the weather's like and all of that. It's super important to participate in the primaries. 50 Cube. Hey, welcome. 50 Cube says people call them one-day Republicans. That's right. And Inspector's here. Oh, that is Inspector. That's 50 Cube. I'm sorry, you guys confuse me when you have multiple names for different platforms. Sorry about that, Inspector. Yeah, so that's a big one to call out. Make sure you tell your friends and family. And I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. The other thing that came up this week is after Biden says he supported Taiwan and all of that, obviously China kind of owns Biden. So they just recently had an election. And the person who won is someone who supports Taiwan's independence. And after the election, then Biden says, we do not support Taiwan's independence. So that was kind of interesting.
That puts him in an interesting position if China decides to go into Taiwan.
Right? Right? You know, last week when I did the Vivek overview of kind of all the different things about Vivek, I didn't even get to everything. But one of the things Vivek was saying was he was asked a question, you know, would you fire the first shot at China? And he said, it depends. And he said the semiconductors we'd have to have control of all the semiconductors. And once we get control of that, then yes, I would. It's like, oh my gosh, just not good things to say. So, so yeah, that was happening too. Another thing that is very interesting, and you know, the state of Texas, man, they have been trying they've been doing so much. And I know people want more, but I have to say, so the Texas Military Department confirmed that the National Guard seized control of Shelby Park and Eagle Pass. Eagle Pass is one of those biggest places where people cross the border illegally. And so Texas National Guard is controlling it. They won't let the Border Patrol in there. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I just thought this was cool.
that is really cool.
Isn't it? And we've got some friends in Texas. I hope you're proud of your Texas Military Department there. Another thing is there's this article. This article says that the far right rise could make Europe ungovernable. They fear this populist movement that's happening globally. This isn't just like a big thing in the United States. It's happening everywhere. There's a huge rise of populist people. They want their country first. And it doesn't matter what country you're in, that's how it should be. And, you know, you got to thank Trump for for pushing that idea, that, hey, we need freedom and we need to watch for ourselves first, watch out for ourselves first. And the funny thing is they're in fear. They're having an election this June in the EU. And what's really funny is Le Pen, I don't know if you guys remember, but she was running against Macron in France, and she almost won. Like, they came close. And so she is just like Trump. And now they're starting to accuse her of being tied to Russia. They are so scared because, they are just so scared. So the Washington Post, of all places, did an article. I know. Yeah. Let me just see if I probably have to copy this. Yeah, no, sorry. I wanted to open one of these links.
When in doubt, blame Russia.
Huh?
When in doubt, blame Russia.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm just gonna copy paste right in here. Here we go. Yeah, they say Russia is working to subvert the French support for Ukraine, documents show. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. They are in fear. They are in fear. So I find it hilarious. I just think it's super funny because there is just such a movement going on. So I wanted to call that out because I think that's an awesome thing. But oh, I'm not on the tab that I'm showing. Sorry. I thought you could see what I was pulling up. But also in Europe, they have their first. This is the dude. They say the youngest ever prime minister. This guy looks like a baby. He's the prime minister of France. So Macron picked him. So it's not like he was elected. He was picked to be the prime minister. And you got to wonder, this guy used to be a part of the Socialist Party.
At 34?
They call Macron conservative or right wing, and he's not. I mean, why would he bring a young socialist in to be the prime minister?
That's,
just kind of wondering. Anyway, so that's happening. Another huge thing that I think we need to keep our eyes on is the Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis. Not only, so I didn't have this ready. Not only did she have an affair with the prosecutor that she named as a special prosecutor for the Trump case, she also, though, this is really critical, that she's had secret collaborations with the January 6th committee. And this was before she indicted Trump. So it feels like there's a lot of colluding going on.
mm-hmm.
And King Koa did a fabulous job because he also did a whole timeline. So Fani Willis's lead prosecutor Nathan Wade had an 8-hour conference call with Biden's White House counsel in May of 2022. And then New York Times, right after that, just a few days later, said up to 50 subpoenas are expected as the grand jury begins the Trump inquiry. And then they began their inquiry in June. Grand jury subpoenaed a bunch of folks here, some of who they're calling the co-conspirators. I don't know if they all are, but, the folks around Trump. And then they subpoenaed Mark Meadows, Sidney Powell, and others. Anyway, he's got this whole timeline. And he calls out when the IRS whistleblower testified. It goes all the way down to when special counsel was appointed and she had her press conference announcing the indictment. Because you remember, after prematurely leaking it. Remember when that came out and they had the indictment before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I highly recommend you review this, but he's on Twitter and he probably has all this info on Telegram too. But this came out over the last week. And then I have another thing. Speaking of them wanting to go after Trump, there's a lot of coordination happening, but including with the media. So in case you missed it, I posted, I don't remember who I reposted. This wasn't originally for me, but there is the media. I think I might have that. Media talks Trump. Yeah. Now I can give credit to the right person. Unlimited L's on Twitter posted this, and the journalists were on a hot mic and they were joking about assassinating Trump like JFK. And they said, you know what the worst part is? Even if he had his window open and he's hanging out of it, he would be on the other side of the street. And maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out. So I'm going to play that clip really quick. And just listen for that.
You know, the worst part is, even if he has his and he's hanging out of it, he'll be on the other side of the field.
I mean, if he's driving, we've got a good shot.
Yeah, if he's driving with the front window open.
Yeah, or if it's a convertible.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about that.
Yeah. Like if he just pulls up
like JFK. It's like a JFK, a Lincoln.
No, a president. Oh.
Maybe someone, just like they told JFK, you know what you should do? You should take a convertible. It's so nice out.
Isn't that horrible?
That's awful.
Isn't that horrible? Let's see. Oh, Red is here. Oh, is Pocket Friend Red?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I gotta remember two names now. Oh, hey Red. How are you? I hope you're doing great tonight. But yeah, that is horrible. And wouldn't you think that is illegal?
You would think so.
Oh,
but you know, free speech and all that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. When you're joking about assassinating a former president, you would think that would be illegal, but I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. But they definitely fear Trump. And speaking of that, this is from Patriots Are in Control. NBC News had a headline. Almost at the same time, there was another article talking about how the military is training people to follow the Constitution and not specific people. And then just a few hours later, Patriot in Control. So I put that out. And then a few hours later, Patriots Are in Control put this out, that fear grows that Trump will use the military in dictatorial ways. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they are, number one, yes, they fear Trump. We say that all the time. But I feel like they definitely are planting some seeds for something. I'm super suspicious because I don't know if that was posted today about, yes, John Kerry was speaking at the WEF, and he said that he's leaving them for a little while. He's not quitting, but it's an election year, and he has other things to do. And it's like, well, what are those other things that you have to do because it's an election year? So I'm very sus. They're up to something that, you know, we know about their regular playbooks, but I have a feeling they're up to something new. They keep, trying to create new ways of preventing Trump from taking office. So.
And the whole thing is like, if he was going to use dictatorial powers, why didn't he do that the first time?
Exactly. That's what they do. They put that fear porn out there, don't they? Yeah.
But, I mean, they like to tell us what they're planning too, so.
They do. But they do keep saying that it will be the end of democracy as we know it, that he's going to be a dictator. Now, we do have 4 years of experience with him, so people aren't stupid, right?
And considering the fact that we don't have a democracy.
Yeah, we're not.
Their democracy can end. I'm fine with that.
Their democracy. Yeah. No, we are a republic. You are absolutely right about that, Moxie. And hey, Kraken. Is Kraken all totally healed up from his
all totally healed up.
Amputation, in case people didn't know?
His haircut is all better now. He doesn't have a silly haircut anymore.
Oh, that's
He's all grown
good.
out, and
what a good boy.
my finger.
Deplorable Mike says, at least a terrorist threat. Those were death threats on a former president. Absolutely. Absolutely. You would think that's illegal, wouldn't you, Mike? I mean, I would think so. Anyway. All right, let's see what else is going on. I've got other stuff.
I mean, but going in with the threats and stuff like that, it depends on who's making the threats. Because, I mean, if it was someone on the left, of course, that's not a problem. They're okay to joke. But if someone on the right were to say that,
that's true. They'd be in prison. Actually, they'd be in jail.
I mean, we have people who went to prison over walking through the Capitol.
Yes. Yes.
Or between the velvet ropes, because terrorists.
Well, there was, speaking of terrorists, actually, I was going to talk about something else, but, and I probably should have talked about this when we brought up the Texas thing. But I think there was, sorry.
You're okay.
Shoot, I knew I had another, I know what it was. Jerry Nadler. So, speaking of the immigrants or illegal immigrants, he literally said this. Well, I should play the clip and we can just talk about it after.
And we need immigrants in this country. Forget the fact that the farm, that our vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants. The fact is that the birth rate in this country is way below replacement level, which means our population is going to start shrinking. And the ratio of people on Social Security and Medicare is going to increase relative to the number of people supporting them.
He says we need those illegal immigrants to pick vegetables and to replace our shrinking population.
They somebody admitted that we have a shrinking population.
Yeah, and well, that is like we need a whole show topic on that.
Absolutely.
But somebody in chat when I posted that video said, does he think MS-13 is going to go pick vegetables?
That's a fair question.
This is why the terrorist threat reminded me of this, and I should have pulled it up when we were talking about the border. And I replied, yeah, not just MS-13, but terrorists crossing the border, human traffickers, drug traffickers. You know, you look at the images of people crossing the border, and even Trump said this in one of his recent speeches that they're all 18 to 25-year-old young men. They're not families that are trying to escape some tyranny. They are fighting age men. And there's a lot of human trafficking too. So anyway, Jerry Nadler, I mean, come on. Yes, we want immigrants in our country, but we want legal immigrants. We want people to come in legally, not have their stepping in and they're already breaking the law as soon as they get here. So we love our immigrants. And
Mike in chat says they want immigrants for their cheap slave labor. Last time I checked, those were human rights violations.
yeah, exactly. And honestly, don't they have machinery now that picks vegetables? I don't think, do they use people anymore? I don't think they do, unless it's like a delicate type of produce that you have to be careful with. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I would think by now they would have like machines doing that. Speaking of vegetables, the German farmers started several days, and I wonder if they're still going. They started on January 8th, and I know 4 days in they were still going strong. They're protesting the tyranny, and I am so proud of these German farmers. They are awesome. I've got a couple of clips. I don't know what this one is. This one might be the German farmers. Let me try. I don't even know because I don't have a title on it. That gets me fired up. They are throwing manure all over, including, you know, their government buildings. I have to give kudos to the government farmers because they're so awesome. I'm just reading the chat. Dr. Jill just wants her oh my gosh, I'm not repeating because this will be on the internet permanently. You're funny, Red. Oh my goodness. You are funny. You are funny.
I'm choking on my water.
No, but the German farmers, I'm so proud of them. Like they did so much, and then they like even get their kids involved. It's so cute. They have their own little parade. So adorable. Wasn't that adorable?
It was.
Anyway, go Germany. We're with you. We love you. Yeah, and then other things happening in the news. Hunter was in the news twice over the last week. So he went to Congress and he just, okay. So I don't remember.
He showed up in Congress this time?
Yeah, but they subpoenaed him and he didn't show up. And he's like, I'm not going to come. And
at a press conference instead.
Well, he wanted to come on his own conditions, and they're like, we don't take conditions. This is a congressional subpoena.
And they didn't arrest him.
Well, they're asking for a vote to find him in contempt of Congress. So, but someone mentioned, I think it was on RSBN when I was waiting for the Iowa results yesterday. I was watching them live, and they were talking about it, and they said that he had a camera crew with him. They're filming a documentary on him. Did you know that?
I did know that.
I didn't know that. And I'm like, well, so then he decides just unplanned, just to show up at Congress, unplanned. And I guess to catch some of the committee members off guard or something. So he showed up there, but what's super cool, I've got a couple of clips. One is him, I don't know if he's entering or leaving, but somebody asked him, one of the reporters asked him, what kind of crack do you eat?
Please, I'll answer your question if you be quiet and let me make a statement, okay?
What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
And then there was another gal, I don't have the clip, but when he was leaving, she was asking him all kinds of really good questions. And boy, he was being trolled big time there. But he was like all sitting. He went to, I don't remember which committee he went to. If you guys remember, say it in chat. But he went into the committee room. MTG was in there, and others, Jamie Raskin was in there. Was that the weaponization committee? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, he went in there and they're asking, they're talking to him. He's not like testifying. He's just sitting in the audience all smug. So Mr. Smug then watch what he does when it's MTG's turn to talk, because each congressional member on the committee gets 5 minutes.
Gentlemen, time's expired. Chair recognizes Ms. Green from Georgia for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
Whoa! Oh.
I'd like to reclaim my time, Mr. Chairman.
Burst their bubble. Wow, that's too bad.
So here's the thing. He's got a documentary crew with him. This was such a photo op staged thing. He wants to have this in his documentary. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
He wants it in his documentary that he's afraid of a little blonde from Georgia?
No, they're going to, you know how media is. They'll spin it. They'll do their editing magic, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but then after being smug, going to Congress, then what Hunter did was he went to his, pull this up. He went to court for the charges that he was being charged with, federal court, and he pled not guilty. And this is super cool. The reason it's cool, not because he's pled not guilty. I mean, he could plead guilty, but he's been trying to work out a sweetheart deal to plead guilty and then not have to face trial. And now he has to face trial. Mm-hmm. Imagine what's going to come out in this trial. So this is going to be super interesting. Get your popcorn ready, folks. This is going to be a good one. And, you know, because they couldn't work out a sweetheart deal, apparently he was super nervous when he went to court. I've got a little clip on that.
Yeah, it was fascinating being inside that courtroom. I mean, think about 6 months ago, you had the situation where Hunter was about to strike a sweetheart plea deal with those Delaware prosecutors. And now, yesterday, when he walked into that courtroom, I mean, it felt like the weather in Iowa had entered Los Angeles because the reception was frosty. It was completely different to that sort of sweetheart situation he had a few months ago. They didn't even acknowledge the prosecutors sitting opposite them. Hunter was shaking hands and smiling with some of the court staff. But then as they were sat there waiting for the judge to come in, there was sort of 10 minutes or so before the judge came in, Hunter was looking quite nervous. He was pushing back his hair. He was wiping sweat from his upper lip, it looked like. And then at one point he was looking over at the prosecutors and he adjusted his collar and took a deep breath in. It looked like a man who was under a lot of pressure, who was very nervous, but trying not to show it.
Mr. Smug had to face some real scrutiny for a second there.
Herbie says that Hunter showed up to his contempt case.
Oh, did he have a contempt case? Herbie, you should come on here and talk with us. I must have missed something. I don't know. But anyway, he was super nervous. And I thought that was pretty funny just because, he was very smug when he went to Congress. And I'm just looking at what else we got going on here. One big thing for me, and I want to really get into highlighting stuff that's happening with our kids, whether it's indoctrination. I don't need to cover human trafficking because we got Liz croaking on that with a bunch of other people, but what's happening to the kids in our schools and all of that. The Ohio governor, he vetoed a law that was going to protect the mutilation of minors, basically. It was a law to protect kids from having these surgeries and changing their physical appearance while they're young before they even go through puberty and can be an adult and make those decisions as an adult. So the governor vetoed this bill that was going to protect kids from that. And the interesting thing about that is Ohio. God bless Ohio. The legislature had enough votes to overturn that veto. And so next week, the Senate is going to vote for the overturn of it. And once the Senate votes, which they think it's going to go through, then it will be law in 90 days. So I'm super excited about that. And one of the things I want to pull up, I had a few things on that, but I'm just going to pull one item up. Where's my Ohio? I've already got it up. So the governor, they said he reacted, but here's the thing. I want to know what you guys think. Some people think he's such an asshole for vetoing this bill, but as I read this article, one of the things that I noticed with this, of what he said, which is right about here, he said he listened to youth and parents who told him if not for the treatment, their child would be dead, and that the consequences of the bill could not be more profound. And here's what they do. This is what they do. They say, if you don't support this child is going to commit suicide. And, they put the fear of God in the parents, even. Parents who are against it suddenly will support it because all the experts, like doctors who they trust, say, you've got to support this or Johnny's going to commit suicide. So you have to cut off his wiener and, give him different clothes to wear and call him Joanna. So I feel like the governor fell for that. And one really cool thing that somebody said in chat is why, yes, he talked to parents of transgenders and doctors. He calls experts and blah, 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 blah. But did he talk to anybody who went through this as a child and then had to detransition because it impacted their life? Or the families who lost people who transitioned as a child and because they committed suicide because they made the biggest mistake of their life?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so we have a previous show on that, and that was just an important thing I wanted to call out. But I'm super excited for Ohio because I think that's going to go ahead and go through. I'm just going to check chat. Anything going on in chat? Oh, Congress was having a hearing on his contempt. That's the hearing that he showed up for, but he was not supposed to be testifying in that hearing. He went there to surprise them. Thank you, Herbie, for the clarification. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what was going on there. So, one other thing that I wanted to pull up is that tonight, Trump had Vivek at his press conference, and I covered Vivek last week, so I'm not going to talk too much about him, but my position still stands. Most of the folks in our movement, especially the big influencers, I think are on the opposite thought as me. I've seen a lot of people say that, Vivek was probably part of the plan and him dropping out is going to help Trump in New Hampshire and he's on Trump's side and he says all the mega things. And but I still, the feeling that I have about him hasn't gone away and I'm just going to trust that. What was it? Here's what was super interesting is last night, Trump posted this. He posted that Vivek is not MAGA. Like, why would he literally say Vivek is not MAGA? Here. Can I highlight it? There we go. I found that interesting. But then tonight he brings him on stage. He says, oh, he's a friend of mine. But then Vivek said they just met tonight for the first time today. And Vivek introduced him, and I felt like Vivek was all over the place when he was introducing Trump. He went from topic to topic really oddly. Like, here's the border, and I'm going to talk about the globalists, and just all over the place. But one thing I noticed was after that, then Trump's like, oh, he's a great guy. He's young. He has young ideas, which is great. I feel like Trump knows. I just got that kind of thing. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, Trump, you already know. You're keeping him close to you. You're going to hear his ideas, see what he has to say. That's what I think. I feel like he knows what's going on there. And somebody posted that in chat, and it kind of made me feel better too, because my concern is that he's going to say whatever we want to hear. And he kind of proved my point about, I said back in September, I think he wants to get into Trump's good graces. I think he's going to say everything we want to hear so that he can get close to Trump because he wants Trump to like him. So that's why he's singing his praises. And him dropping out just made me, I just kind of feel a little bit more confident in my thought process that he maybe, I'm not accusing him of it, allegedly he might be infiltrating to get into Trump's inner circle.
And then maybe get a cabinet seat.
Exactly, because then you can know what's going on the inside and report to other people and still play that role. I could be wrong. I probably will never find out, or if I do find out, it'll be years, like 4 years from now. But that's just my feeling. And like I said, I'm, probably the black sheep of the family on that one. odd man out, as I said earlier. But
I'm right there with you. So
what's that? Oh, you
I'm
are?
right there with you.
Well, I feel like everybody isn't. And then, like last night, he had these people wearing these shirts: "Save Trump" and "Vote Vivek." So that's just kind of odd, just odd. And some people think it's like kayfabe. He's on Trump's side, white hat. I'm not saying white hat or black hat. I'm not trying to figure that out. I'm just
looking at the facts and
looking at his background and where he came from, and it makes me suspicious. That's all. And then one thing Pepe Lives Matter posted, there is, okay, over the last couple of months, there's been 3 trailers for movies coming out. We talked about this before. There was 2. Now there's another one. It's called ISS, I think. Another predictive programming movie that's coming out. There's 3 of them. So may I put all 3, because I think that would be kind of annoying to play all 3 trailers right now. I have them, but I'm not going to. But I think I will do a post and have all 3 of them on Telegram. Lets you post multiple videos in one post. So I think I'll post those together because it's kind of crazy to see all 3 of them together. There's definitely something weird going on. One is about Civil War, and it's literally called Civil War. And then Leave No One Behind is the Obama one. And that talks about technologies going out, like the internet going out, TV going out, and the military going after
attacks.
Huh?
Cyber attacks.
Cyber attacks, and then the military attacking citizens. And then this new one. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but but what I am going to show, because this is like predictive programming too, but it's not a movie, is this is strange. And this was reported like at the early January. So in case you missed it, they asked AI chatbots for their predictions for 2024.
This I did miss.
Did you? So, AI systems might start reasoning by themselves. So one of the AIs predicted that AI models would begin to show signs of AGI. And then the other prediction is biotech will upgrade humans. So
I just got chills.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? So it makes you think of Elon Musk's Neuralink program. But we've been talking about that for a while, like we feel like that's coming. So, and then the dawn of personalized medicine, where treatments are tailored to the individual based on their DNA. So an AI predicted this. Think about this. How does an AI work? How do they work? They work by learning. And how do they learn? They learn by being given a bunch of content. So I find this quite interesting. And then they predict election hacking. So attacks on voting machines. So it's kind of interesting. And then tensions with China will arise. So this is the last one that it predicted. I think it's the last one. Which this wouldn't be a surprise. Yep.
No, we've been waiting for that one.
Yeah. So it's almost, I don't know. It almost feels like they want to prepare us for these things that are coming. Even though they say
Did AI actually do that, or is that them telling us?
Right. Or did they feed AI enough so that it would predict the things they wanted it to predict? I don't know. What do you guys think? Isn't that kind of creepy?
That is.
That is super creepy. Yeah, I just am looking through. I think I just have one more thing to cover. I'm just looking through my clips to make sure I'm not missing anything. I don't know what this is. Oh, I might have two things. I might have two things. All right. So remember when Media Matters is going after Elon Musk, and then they went and had all the advertisers like go away, and Elon suing them, and it's a big thing. So they are really going after Elon, just like they were going after Trump. So, oh, I just want to see the chat quick. I don't want to switch gears if people are chatting about what we just talked about. V1800. Who's V1800?
I have no
Vivek was never a replacement for Trump to MAGA people. That I know. That's true. And the number of people that have infiltrated and stabbed our POTUS in the back is unbelievable. Exactly. I feel like they're doing it to Elon now, too. And then Red said that, or Pocket Friend, it could go either way, Nevs. Regardless, Trump is always 2 steps ahead. Thank you. We need that encouragement. You know what? He is. He's always 2 steps ahead. And then V1800 says they will never be self-aware, as that requires sentience. Very true. Very true. I don't think self-awareness is possible with a machine, but it can talk like it is. Like you talk to Chat GPT, you laugh. Same with the Grok on X. But so back to Trump being persecuted, all the indictments, blah blah blah. Now they're really going hard on Elon, and the SEC, their Twitter account, they said it was hacked. It actually was not hacked, but I should have bookmarked these news articles, but I'll copy paste them. What happened was that the SEC used a phone number to log into X. What Elon said was they did not use multi-factor authentication, which is recommended by X. So that's step 1. And step 2, somebody got a hold of their phone or phone number, or got access to their phone number. And so they didn't hack X, they hacked their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And but what the media is reporting is SEC X account breach poses problem for Elon Musk as he tries to rebuild trust. So that's one headline. I'm just showing examples of the MSM because they're so crazy. And then this one, Elon Musk has used illegal drugs, worrying leaders at Tesla and SpaceX. So there's a few articles about security on his website after this SEC thing. But before that, they accused him of using illegal drugs. So they're going after him in all these different directions, and Media Matters is going after him. This is Wall Street Journal. This is Wall Street Journal. And the other one that I pulled up is from Bloomberg. So these are all big mainstream media outlets. And yeah, but I just wanted to call that out. So when you see them going after, especially mainstream media, going after a particular person, just know that they're doing it for a reason. And, back to Vivek, actually, do you notice that the MSM did not go after him?
That's weird. It's really, really, really weird.
And one of the things I mentioned on the last show was that They actually interviewed him and they were respectful, and they let him speak. They didn't, you know how they interrupt Trump all the time? You see his town halls, like they wouldn't let him speak. And yeah, with Vivek, Vivek blathers, you know, he says all kinds of stuff. And he says good stuff, really good stuff. Somebody asked
him.
Huh?
But they let him.
But they let him. And somebody asked me in chat today, well, if he's against us, and he sure is red pilling a bunch of people. And yeah, I agree. He's saying great things. He's
saying all the things we want to hear.
The question is he really red pilling, or is he like trying to convince us? Because we're hard to convince. We're a hard group. And I guess I'm going to be staying hard. But anyway, then, Pocket Friend says, bingo, Moxie. So, yeah. The last thing I want to share is kind of funny but sad. So this was from Midnight Rider that I had forwarded. And, you know, we were talking about the AI and being sentient or not. Technology is increasing exponentially. And, oh, look at Kraken behind you climbing on the shelves. It's so cute. But what's sad is we lose our human connection, you know? So I'm online here. We're virtual. We're not sitting around a table having coffee, although we should do that sometime. We should all get together. We should. I was watching clips from Badlands Media Gart, and I'm like, maybe I should go to the next one, you know? Like, maybe I'll just go and meet a bunch of people. But it is sad. Like, we're very much into technology. We're on our devices. And it just like going out in the real world, talking to people is so enriching, and not a lot of people do that. And so Midnight Rider, Carly Bonet, posted this video, which kind of expresses the world today. So I'll play that. So I'm just gonna comment. So look at the guy doing a magic trick. And then look at the dude behind him with the VR glasses on. And here's what's interesting. We're so distracted with like virtual reality, things that aren't real. And this completely demonstrates where the world is at today. Like with so many people blind and they don't see the reality of what's going on around them and just go along with the magic show and believe the magic that media and governments put in front of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the guy just sitting there in the VR, like, how can you sit in public and not be aware of your surroundings? Like, it takes a special kind of person to have that much trust.
I have a feeling there's like where you can see, like, if you know, I don't know. I don't use those. Do you guys use those?
I know the one that my son has, like, you cannot see anything but the screen in front of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know. I've never worn them, but it almost seems like he had places where he could look out. But yeah, I wouldn't leave devices on the table and then just sit back and have that on. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting because it really does reflect the world today. And there's a lot more going on. There's a tons of protests around the Palestinian protesters. There's, you know, all the election stuff.
Yeah, there was an insurrection at the Capitol again. But it's okay because they were Palestinian protesters.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, and they were throwing. Actually, I'm going to show it because I happen to have a clip. So this is not here. I think this is in London. But they've got the Palestinian protesters are waving the BLM flag. I have to correct myself. Antifa flag.
One and the same, aren't they?
Yeah, they were also at the Capitol protesting, shaking the fence and almost breaking in. And they were throwing, I'm definitely not going to show that, but they're throwing bloody dolls over the fence. So, yeah. But there's a lot going on. I mean, there's a million other things I could be talking about too, but those were the things that, that have stood out. And it's only January 16th.
And I guess I didn't miss as much as I thought I did. I've been kind of keeping my head down and focusing on the things I'm directly in, but I guess I'm seeing a lot of things because there wasn't a lot that you talked about tonight that I hadn't heard about.
Oh, well, that's good.
I'm impressed with myself.
I'm proud of you, but you know what? I mean, I work all day, so I probably missed a whole bunch of other things. But this wild ride of 2024, it started with a bang, and it's continuing. This is just like a week and a half worth of things that I've been bringing up. It doesn't even include.
It's been a heck of a year already.
It's already been a heck of a year. Get your popcorn. It's about to get more wild, I think. So anyway, I'm just going to chat real quick. Let's see. Oh, Deneen.
Hi, Deneen.
We love you, Deneen. We're so happy that you're home and safe and free. Deneen says, relevant article I think I'm working on, From One Cell to Another, a comparison of physical incarceration and social media addiction. Deneen, that sounds so interesting.
It does.
Ooh, I'm excited to see that. You guys need to follow Deneen here. She's on Truth Social. She is on Telegram and has her own channel. Deneen just got out of prison for, guess what? Deneen did nothing. She walked in the Capitol. Somebody told her she needed to leave. She said, okay. So she left. That was it. She wasn't there when they broke in. She was there after the barriers were all gone. So she had no idea that there were even barriers up. I mean, how do you go to prison for that? Deneen, we love you. We were praying for you. We were thinking about you the whole time you were gone. And you are a patriot. She is a woman of God. Beautiful soul. We love you. What a way to end the show.
Absolutely.
Deneen, I can't wait to see your article. I'm so glad you're writing a Substack. I think everybody will be so interested in that. So, any other closing thoughts from you, Moxie?
I can't think of anything.
No?
I'm just ready for the rest of 2024.
Woohoo! We'll see what's coming next. New Hampshire next week. All right, guys, we love you so much. Thank you for joining us. Please like our video if you enjoyed tonight's show. Tell your friends, send your friends. Make sure you follow us, and have a wonderful evening. Good night.
I can see clearly.